What's good, everybody? We are back with my NFL picks. We're here in week 9. Just a quick reminder, if you want my picks on a weekly basis, we do them here on YouTube the first of every month, but I do them every other week on my Patreon. So if you want to get in on that action, do head over to my Patreon, the link right there in the graphic, also in the description below. Also, a quick reminder, please do hit that like button. So week 8 was a really good one for us. Weeks 6 and 7 were a little more rough. So good to have a bounce back week. We were 13-1 overall, 4-1 against the spread, getting those numbers back where we want them. The only thing left here is getting those upset picks where I have actually been over 500 my last 2 years picking underdogs. That's something I'm really proud of. So not the end of the world if we can't get back to 500. Technically, if you're winning like 45% of those bets, you're still making money. But I really want to get those upsets back to 500 for the rest of the season. So hoping to keep things rolling here. Let's get into it. San Francisco at Arizona. This is going to be a really exciting game. I think they're giving San Francisco 10.5 points here. Now, I am going to take the Niners to win this game, but hang on a second. I think Arizona, there's a lot of reasons why they're a decent bet to cover in this game. More than decent. I actually really like them to cover in this game. So, for one, Kyler Murray is just a really good quarterback that I think is a market opportunity. I don't think a lot of people have woken up on just the things that he's able to do. That also said, I think that Arizona gets rid of the ball quickly, and they're going to be able to neutralize a lot of the things that San Francisco does really well defensively with that pass rush. So I think Arizona's going to be able to score some points. At the end of the day, the Niners just are going to dominate the line of scrimmage. There's no reason they shouldn't win this game, but I think Arizona in a primetime game, a short week, is going to be able to find a way to keep this thing interesting. So I actually don't mind Arizona betting to cover here. They say don't bet to cover, bet to win, but when it's 10.5 points, and I could actually picture a world where the Cardinals sneak away with a close win in this one, I like that bet. And I also like the over here. It's like 42, 43 points depending where you get it. And as long as Arizona can put up 17 points or so, there's not a big reason to think that this wouldn't go over that. So that's the recap on that game. Next up, we got Houston at Jacksonville. A ton of injuries for the Texans, not just J.J. Watt, obviously out for the remainder of the season, but you got Tunsil's questionable, Hopkins is questionable. I'm pretty sure they're going to play, but that is something to monitor. It sounds like Kenny Stills is not going to play in this game. I don't know how much that changes things. I am going to take the Texans here. I'm comfortable with them covering this game because it's only 1.5 points. That said, I could picture a world where Gardner Minshew really lights this thing up and finds a way to get Jacksonville into the division race here. But I just think that Deshaun Watson's got that it factor. It's a huge game for the Texans as well. Huge AFC South implications in this game. I'm going to take the Texans on the spread. Chicago at Philadelphia. Now, Chicago's still one of those teams that can keep the score down. They're getting 5 points in this game. I am going to take the Eagles. They know the significance of this game at home, trying to get back into the playoff race here. They're not too far behind Dallas. So I do think that pretty similar to the last time these teams met, it's going to be a scrappy game, a low-scoring game that Philadelphia, just with the better overall coaching and quarterback and line play, are going to find a way to win. That said, I don't feel great about covering the 5 points. They certainly could do it, but I do think that Chicago is going to keep the score down. They're going to really focus on taking care of the football this week. Yes, Trubisky's your quarterback, and you can't always guarantee that, but I think as long as they can go maybe 2 or less turnovers, then this is going to be within the 5 points. Indianapolis at Pittsburgh. This was not a great showing for the Colts, are a top 10 team in the power rankings hive. They barely beat the Broncos last week, and they're only getting 1 point here against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I'm not even sure are starting their best quarterback in Mason Rudolph. And I'm actually going to take the Steelers here. It's technically an upset. I'm going to say no bet on this one. It's, to me, a perfect coin toss here. Obviously, the Colts have some advantages here. They're a better coached team. They have the better quarterback in this game, even if they're both kind of lower-end starters. Mason Rudolph, I don't even know if he is a starting caliber guy, but at home, you give a little nod to the Steelers. It's more of a gut feeling than anything. That's why I say no bet here. This really could go either way. I'm going to take the Steelers in a game between two really similar teams. Washington at Buffalo. I'm going to take the Bills here. 9.5 points is a lot. I could see them covering it. Washington's one of those scrappy teams. They kind of match up with a more scrappy Buffalo team as well. That is a large spread. I think Buffalo, low-scoring game, defense, just make a couple plays, that kind of thing. It's kind of been their style. You're kind of playing with fire at the 9.5 points. I think they win. I'm not sure it's going to be by that much. Tennessee at Carolina. This one hurts my head because by all logic and film watching and any type of football analytics, I would have guessed that Tennessee would have been favored in this game. They're playing well. They're playing really good defense. Tannehill's doing enough. He's taking care of the football and making more aggressive throws and letting these receivers kind of wake up a little bit. And Carolina, they just have holes everywhere, mainly at quarterback. It is going to be Kyle Allen again this week. He is one of the worst quarterbacks starting in the NFL right now. He's a clear-cut backup guy. And defensively, they're really solid, but they don't have a pass rush, and their secondary is just kind of average. So, yes, their analytics might tell you their defense is pretty good, but I don't expect that to repeat. So I actually think Tennessee should be favored in this game. But the problem with Tennessee is this is what they've done for 4 years, is just when you're ready to buy into them, they play like garbage in a game that could help them flip the script. So by all logic, you would pick Tennessee in this game, but by your heart, you would just, or just history would say that they're going to find a way to lose this game. So I'm going to stick with the logic in this one and go with Tennessee to win this game in an upset pick. But don't bet this game, guys. Just don't do it. Don't bet on Tennessee. It's not a smart thing to do. But I will take them as far as the picks go. All right, Jets at the Dolphins. I had this guessed as a 10-point spread in favor of the Jets. I know the Jets aren't good, but they aren't Miami Dolphins bad, I don't think. They hung in there with Jacksonville last week in a game where they turned the ball over 3 times. I think this is a get-right week for the Jets. I honestly don't really understand this spread. I get that Miami hung in there with the Steelers last week, but I'm taking the Jets to cover this week. I think Darnold's going to have a much better week. Minnesota at Kansas City. I can't pick this game. There's too many injuries involved on Kansas City's side of the ball. So, Eric Fisher and Andrew Wiley, left tackle, left guard, they've been out. That's been a liability, but they're close to playing. You've got, on the defensive side of the ball, Frank Clark, Chris Jones. Are they going to play? Doesn't sound like Frank Clark's going to play, but then you also have Patrick Mahomes and his situation. I actually think the defensive line is a bigger deal for the Chiefs because that's how you beat the Vikings, is you get after Kirk Cousins. So I just can't pick this game. Too many injuries involved to say here on Thursday. Maybe I'll tweet out before the game my actual pick, but you can't even bet this game right now anyway, so we're going to move on. Tampa Bay at Seattle. I think Seattle wins, but I actually don't feel super confident in that. I feel like Tampa Bay is due for one of these upset, high-scoring games where Jameis just, he's a total coin toss, right? If, he's going to be throwing the ball aggressively, trying to scramble and make things happen. Every few weeks he's due for just a massive performance, especially against the Seahawks defense that I don't entirely trust right now. And, I love Russell Wilson, but with this offense and how they operate, they're not exactly built to get into huge shootouts. I know that they can get away with it occasionally. All that said, I will take Seattle to make enough happen, but I am a little scared of a Tampa Bay upset here, so I'm not going to go with the spread on this one. I will just take Seattle to win. Detroit at Oakland. Flip a coin. I like that Oakland's at home. I like that Detroit doesn't really have a pass rush, and Derek Carr should really have all day to throw in this game. Usually that means you're going to win, so I'll take Oakland. Not a lot of confidence here. Going to go 28-27. Detroit does have the better quarterback in this game, so maybe they score more points. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Green Bay at the LA Chargers, or the Chargers at home against the home team Green Bay Packers, who have the best traveling fan base in the league, I'm pretty sure. So this is going to be a home game for Green Bay. All logic would say that Green Bay is going to win this game. They have the advantage pretty much everywhere. I actually think their pass rush is going to outplay the Chargers just because of the matchup. The Chargers' offensive line is #not good. So I'll take the Packers in this one. My gut actually kind of tells me that the Chargers, coming off kind of a big win last week, might muster up the energy to win this one. Just because I don't see that as a 3-5 football team. I think they're at least a 500 team. So I could see a world where the Chargers win this game. I'm going to take the Packers, though. And then Cleveland at Denver. This is one of my more confident picks of the week is Cleveland. It's hard to have confidence in Cleveland. I mean, look, they actually played up to the Patriots. They just couldn't take care of the football. If they can take care of the football, that's a pretty good offense and a really good defense, especially getting Greedy and Ward back at cornerback. So I think the defense is going to really play well in this game. I think Baker is just fed up with everything. I think they're going to win this game. Now, 3.5 points, they could miss a field goal, they could fumble, find a way to keep this thing closer than it should be. I think it's a decent bet on the spread. I'm going to take Cleveland on the money line. They're definitely going to be a part of parlays and stuff. I just feel pretty good about them winning this game. New England at Baltimore. This is the game of the week. It's going to be a blast on Sunday Night Football. I shouldn't do this, but I'm actually going to take Baltimore. It's a total no-bet situation. I have a hard time staying away from primetime games as far as gambling is concerned, but I just want to watch this game. I don't have a ton of confidence saying either side's going to win. You obviously have the Patriots factor with Tom Brady and their experience and blah, blah, blah. I actually think the Ravens defense is going to have a really, really nice game. I'm really concerned about the Patriots offensive line right now. Their playmakers are a concern. It's not like Mohamed Sanu is some explosive playmaker. The Ravens cornerbacks are going to be able to man up these guys. I think Tom Brady's going to have a really rough night. But that said, I also don't expect a whole lot from the Ravens offense. These are two teams that should have a really good defensive game. Maybe you bet the under in this game. But my guts just tell me the Ravens are going to win this one. That New England's not as good as people think they are right now, and the Ravens want to prove that on primetime in their own stadium. Now, betting against the Patriots usually not the best idea. So I will take the Ravens, but not a lot of confidence in that one at all. Dallas at the New York Giants. We're going to go with Dallas to win this one. No surprise there. Now, the Giants' defense sucks, so Dallas is going to win this game, but they can score some points. It's really just a matter of how many times does Daniel Jones fumble. I like the over in this game. It's like 48. I think that we're going to see Dallas get over 30 in this one against a miserable defense, and the Giants kind of trying to keep pace, I guess. So I like the over in this game. I like Dallas to win. 7 points in a game where I think Giants might be able to score some points. I don't know for sure if that's the best bet, but yeah, those are the picks this week. Let me run through my favorite bets as I like to do. So I actually like Arizona to cover tonight on the Thursday night game. And then I like the Jets to cover the spread at Miami. Those are my two favorite spread bets. And then you've got the overs there with the Niners and the Cowboys game. And then I do like a little parlay of Eagles, Bills, Jets, and Browns. Those are my four most confident picks as far as these teams are going to win this week. So those are the picks. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you consider following over on Patreon to get these every week. Please do hit that like button. Enjoy your weekend. We got Redskins rebuild tomorrow at 6 p.m., so we'll see you there. Peace.